Album of the Month!
What is going on, YouTubeverse? John Stanek from Johnny Radio here, coming to you from Lead, South Dakota. No, I'm just kidding. I'm in some undisclosed location in the state of Georgia, which is where this band hails from. Manchester Orchestra. Their new album, A Black Mile to the Surface, is the album of the month for July 2017, and so good. This is their 5th studio LP, and they have just really matured through all their albums. If you don't know about Manchester Orchestra, let me just tell you, they are a phenomenal band, especially to see live. I had the great privilege of seeing them back in 2011 on their Simple Math tour at the Tabernacle in Atlanta, and it was just one of the best shows I've ever seen. They just blew me away. The emotion behind the music with the heavy songs like Pride, From Mean Everything to Nothing, mixed with the lighter songs like Dear, the opening song from Simple Math, whether they're a whisper or a scream, Andy Hull and company just always gets you right in the gut. And this album is no exception. It starts off in a similar vein of Simple Math with a ballad. It's a lullaby called The Maze that Andy wrote for his daughter, Maisie. And it kind of almost has a Mumford & Sons vibe because it's a little folksy and has this just beating drum going and beautiful harmonies and a great way to start the record. And then it goes straight into The Gold, which is the first single on this album. Didn't really hit me the first time I heard it, but it really grows on you. And I can say the same for the album as a whole. If you listen to it as a whole piece, it'll really grow on you with each listen, I've found. And The Gold is definitely one that does that. Again, a little bit of that folksy vibe, which is it's very welcome coming off of the ultra-heavy album Cope that I wasn't as crazy about. Probably one of my lesser favorite albums of theirs. But then going into The Moth, the 3rd track, this one really picks up the tempo and does some really interesting things musically that, you know, Andy Hull and Robert, the guitarist, they had just done, prior to this, the soundtrack for the film Swiss Army Man, and they did everything with vocals. It was such an adventurous, experimental album and movie, of course. But coming off of that, it's obvious that they wanted to try to experiment with the band in new ways, and The Moth definitely feels like they're trying out new sounds and incorporating that into their sound. I really like The Moth a lot. Great track. And then, so then you're going into Lead, South Dakota, which Andy Hull is just becoming, I mean, he's always been a master storyteller, but you know, in some songs he's talking about himself, but some he's just telling these fictional tales, whether they be in another state or The Alien, the next song, which they throw shout-outs to Lawrenceville and Pleasant Hill, which is right in my neck of the woods in Georgia, which is very cool. And The Alien is just a beautiful song. That one will really grow on you if you're not crazy about it at first. It's a real cool song that starts off this trinity of songs that just kind of flow together. The Sunshine being the second one, and then the last one being The Grocery, which I think if I had to pick a favorite right now on this album, The Grocery is it. It's just, the guitar riffs are so awesome, and the build-up of it is just, oh man, it's so intense at the end. It's like, yes, the first song on the album that's like, yeah man, the old Manchester of just like that anthemic rock. I love that song. So great track. And then from there, the album, The Wolf is good. The Mistake is probably my least favorite track on the album. I feel like that could have possibly been left off to give it like a 45-minute versus a 49-minute runtime. But that's really one of my few quibbles with this album, because then the song after that, The Parts, oh my gosh, this could be Manchester's best ballad of all time, and that's saying something, because like I Can Feel a Hot One is just so mesmerizing, but The Parts, it's just Andy with a guitar recorded in his bathtub singing about his wife and how he wants to know each part of her. And it's so cool because it tells the story of when they met all the way through of having their daughter together. And such a beautiful song. Man, it's either this or The Grocery. These are definitely my two favorites on the album, but killer track. And then closing out with The Silence, another one that kind of builds to this big finish, a wonderful ending to the album. So yeah, it's just an album that definitely on repeated listen gets better and better. It's still growing on me to this day. If I had to give it a grade right now, I would have to probably say I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. But that could easily be maybe rounded up to an 8 later, I don't know. But that's where I am right now. Guys, let me know what you think. I think this is definitely a must listen. Manchester Orchestra is a fantastic band. Again, if you're not familiar with them, go back further in their discography and just start at the beginning and listen to the whole thing. Just great band, love it, and love that they're taking risks and moving forward. So guys, let me know what you think in the comments, and like, subscribe, all that jazz. Viva La Vinyl, and I will see you soon.